So earlier today, I asked you guys to comment some questions you had regarding the Packers, and I want to go over 2 questions in this video, and I'll try to touch on the other ones in the future, but I thought these 2 went well together, and it's both questions about potential players the Packers should trade for. So let me give my thoughts here. First off, we have from the Rogue Ewok, says, should the Packers trade for Tee Higgins? So Tee Higgins with the Cincinnati Bengals is in a current interesting situation with the Bengals because they did put the franchise tag on him before free agency, and they still have not come to any kind of agreement. He has not signed the franchise tag. He requested a trade back in March, and I think that's because he wants to get some kind of long-term deal done, and so that was his way to maybe try to speed that process up. But he did say recently he anticipates to play for the Bengals, so it doesn't sound like they're wanting to trade him, even though he requested a trade. And they are currently, they have to come to an agreement by July 15th if they want to work out an extension. If not, he'll have to play on a $21.8 million franchise tag. But just thinking, let's say if they were willing to trade him. I just think in Green Bay, this receiver core is so stacked and so loaded and so deep that giving away some kind of, draft pick for Tee Higgins, plus having to give him a massive kind of contract because this will be his final year if he plays on the franchise tag, I just don't think it makes sense for the Packers, who are loaded at receiver. Now, if this had been a few years back with Aaron Rodgers, when maybe there was a little bit of a lack of depth outside of Devonte, I think that's a different story. But with where the Packers are right now, their hits when it comes to Christian Watson, if he stays healthy, Jaden Reed, Romeo Doubs, Dontavian Wicks, I think the Packers are fine at receiver and do not need to trade away draft capital and add more, a bigger contract to this roster. So that's my thoughts there. And then we have here another trade question from John XLER. About around the trade deadline, the Raiders will probably be shopping Devonte Adams. Is there a chance at a reunion for Devonte in Green Bay? And what do you think that would add to or potentially take away from the offense? Yeah, it's possible Devonte gets traded at the trade deadline. You never know what can happen in the NFL. Things can happen very quickly. But a similar answer to the last question. The Packers are loaded at receiver. All these guys are on super cheap contracts. They were able to get it done at a very high level. And I think the Packers not drafting any receiver shows how confident they are in the players they have in the building. They didn't even draft a single receiver. And so because of that, trading draft capital, bringing in Devonte on a massive contract with him about to turn 32 years old, even though as a Packers fan and my, love for Devonte Adams from his time being a Packer, I would love it in that aspect. But from a team perspective, from a skill perspective, from a trading away draft capital and having another bigger contract, I don't think it makes a lot of sense. So I would not bring back Devonte Adams, even though, I love Devonte. It would be fun to have him back in Green Bay, seeing him in the green and gold, but I don't think that it is a smart decision or would be a smart move for the Packers. Now, if there were multiple wide receiver injuries and the Packers were sitting at the trade deadline and they were in need of a receiver, I don't think the Packers would trade for Devonte. I feel like that ship has sailed. They'd probably find someone else if they wanted to bring someone in to bolster the unit. But those are my thoughts on those 2 questions. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you want more Packers content, feel free to subscribe down below and turn on the post notifications so you never miss any Packers content.